It turned out that I had my phone the wrong way, and then it wouldn't work. So I am flipping my phone, and seeing if this is working. Is this working? Yes. A lot of greetings. I love that. I'm so excited to see there was actually people waiting. When I was just opening YouTube like 10 minutes ago, I was like, only 2 people were waiting. I was like, so afraid no one would be here. I'm so happy that you are. I'm sorry for being a few seconds late, but I had my phone this way and it just kept saying rotate your phone, and I'm like, no, I don't want it to be this way, I want it to be that way. But it wouldn't start recording until I flipped my phone. And is there a commercial break now? On my computer there's a commercial break. Okay. Well, this is obviously my first time ever being live on YouTube, so you have to forgive me in advance for all the mistakes I'm going to be making. I could just see I have my computer going over here as well at the same time, so I can tell if there would be questions that I didn't see, or just to make sure that everything is working. And because I got a little nervous, I can tell my glasses are already so misty. I can tell just by seeing other YouTubers that it's always some kind of a challenge to be talking and having eye contact with you, and at the same time I really want to read all the messages that I get, because this is the best thing I think about the whole live thing, is that I can actually interact. Usually when I podcast I can just talk, and then I have to wait for a long time until I see any comments on my comment section for you to have any response to anything I'm doing. So yeah, well, oh, thank you. I'm not really nervous. It's just I was a little stressed out because stuff wasn't working, and I think it's just a positive excitement that I'm here and you're with me, and also good. We have so many Danish people watching, and I can see my aunt is watching. Hi, Birte. She is my bag maker. And a lot of local people and people from Chicago, Illinois. We are big Chicago fans back here. Go Bears. And people from all over. Well, welcome. First, let me just introduce myself real quick. My name is Camilla. I am I used to say I'm a knitwear designer. I think I'm more of a hand dyer than a knitwear designer as things has evolved. And maybe there'll be some of you here that I have never been here before, but are here because of Pia, who is the host of this knitathon. So I just want to make a short introduction to who I am. As I said, my name is Camilla. I live in Denmark, like Pia does, the fabulous hostess with the mostest, Pia Trans from 50 Fabulous. I live here in Denmark. I used to work as a teacher. Now I work as a hand dyer and knitwear designer. I dye more yarn than I design. It's not that I don't want to design more. It's just, it's nuts. I'm just so busy dyeing all the yarn. Hello from Norway. And that's what I do. I just recently made a crazy decision in the company, but I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. I live here in a small city close to Aarhus, which is the second largest city in Denmark. I live here with my husband and our 2 girls. My oldest is in Tanzania, and my husband is right now he's out of the country, working in far away, but he'll be home soon, so I'm not alone. Don't come knocking on my door, do anything scary. And so I live here, I work here, and it's good. I want to thank Pia for inviting me to the knitathon. I met Pia in Roskilde. There was a fiber event there in August, and we met. We have never met each other before. Of course, we knew who each other was because of this podcasting world. You just kind of know who the other podcasters are. And she said, how do you feel about joining the Knitathon? And I was like, well, sure, that would be so much fun. And she said, well, you can have 1 a.m. the night, just like Sunday really early in the morning, like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, I'm so bad at staying up late. So I was like, no, well, of course I could do that, but I'll just pre-record. And then because unfortunately there were some other podcasters who got sick or was, I don't know, maybe they weren't sick, maybe something else happened, I don't know, but they were not available to do the one this time, the 7 p.m. So Pia asked me if I would be interested in doing this, and I said, that's perfect, then I don't have to record and edit and do all the stuff that takes forever. I can just kind of jump in and do a live for the first time, and I thought that would just be so much fun. So thank you, Pia. I'm so happy you invited me. So it's always just so much fun when this whole group of knitters come together and we make up fun stuff to do. And I think that Pia invented this whole knitathon was just such a great idea and so much fun that we all should be knitting all day. I have not been knitting today at all yet. I have not been able to. I have been with my brother and my sister-in-law. We have been to a place called Creative Space, which is a place where you can go and just paint on pre-made ceramics. So there'll be a chance that it'll look good. And my brother just texted me and said, say hello to everybody. So I'm saying hello to everybody from my brother. We spent the whole afternoon painting ceramics, and I can pick that up on Sunday once it has been burned. That's a whole other story. But that is why I have not been participating in the knit-along until now. My youngest daughter just said, knit-a-thong. Are you all going to knit-a-thong? No, it's a knit-a-thon, honey. It's not a knit-a-thong. I thought that was so funny. Anyway, of course, I brought my knitting. And I thought that I would actually knit while I chat with you. Usually when I podcast, I don't knit and talk. I just talk a lot. And I also usually don't drink wine when I podcast, but since it is 7 p.m., it is absolutely white wine time. Yes, I will take breaks from talking every now and then, so I can just keep up with everything you are telling me. Yeah, knit-a-thong, Rebecca, that's funny. Someone's having lunch. I hope you can still have wine. Well, maybe that's a good idea if you're at work. Oh, it's Saturday. Maybe you're not working. Yeah, thank you, Jette. Yeah, I think it's fun to be doing lives. I have been actually thinking about it before to do Instagram lives, but I was always just too scared. I was afraid no one would be looking and I would feel like an idiot. So happy that you are here with me. And you can see, now that I know that my aunt is watching, I need to show you something funny because this is my new obsession, planting dahlias. This is my first year having dahlia, and this particular dahlia is called Otto's Thrill, and Otto is the name of my uncle, so so this is Otto's Thrill and some other dahlias. I just picked 10 minutes before I went on air. So to have something pretty to look at. I even have a little candle over here, but since I got cut off this way, it's hard to get everything in the screen. It's so annoying that it's this way. I don't know how to change that. Maybe any of you know why it's the other way. Do we want to experiment? Nope. It just stops recording whenever I do that. Well, I am knitting on a bubble cardigan. Actually, this is NS bubble cardigan. It is this pattern. It's just the same as my baby bubble cardigan pattern, maybe if you know about that, only this is in DK weight. It's in a new base that I just recently brought into the shop. I really wanted to play around with some non-superwash yarn. I have had people ask me about having some yarn that had no nylon in it, and also to have something that was not superwash. And I thought, well, the easiest thing would do to just to just pick a yarn that was both without nylon and non-superwash. And then I found this beautiful yarn that is a mix of organic wool and some linen, and I think it's just the perfect combination. And now I'm thinking, I'm actually counting when I'm doing the bubbles, which is a really bad when I also have to talk. But anyway, I'm almost done with this little bubble row, and then it's 4 rows of just stockinette. So if you give me a few seconds, I will be done with this row, and I'll be able to chat a little bit more. You need to actively set the orientations in settings. In settings where, Pia? In YouTube, or because maybe we can fix it. It's so annoying that it's the wrong way. Yeah, no, I can't rotate, because once I rotate the screen, it will rotate fine on my screen. It just will stop recording. Only on the phone, advanced setting. You probably can't fix it now. Okay. Well, for now you'll just have to. I can make it break. No, never mind it. This is just the way it is when you do something for the first time, and yeah, it's just too bad. This is how it is. So I hope you'll bear with me. Oh, Strike and Romantik. I'm so sorry you got sick. It's just that it's hard when you can't read the Danish text. But one of the persons that was supposed to be online just said that she's glad I could step in instead of her. She got pneumonia, so that's really bad. Oh, she was writing in English. Sorry. Good. Well, anyway, this is just the way it is. I hope you got some nice coffee or wine or something good to drink and something good to knit on. What are you knitting on? Should we do a round? What is everyone knitting on? Let me know. And I completed this row. You are a natural. I had to subscribe to your channel. Well, thank you. That is so sweet of you. A baby sweater. Hi, Helle. Good to see you. My aunt is knitting socks for my dad. My dad really always wants me to knit socks for him. He loves to wear home knit socks, and I have never knit him a pair. It's actually not okay. I really should be knitting him a pair of socks. I actually think that the bird of August, no, the bird, we're not in August anymore, the bird of October, which is I think I forgot the English word for it, I don't remember the English word, but the Danish word is vibe, so that is this month's sock, and I think that is actually a color my dad would wear. I'm sorry, I'm just reading. Someone is reading the cactus flower. I'm so happy you like it. A lot of interesting things you guys are knitting on. My youngest just came to me the other day and said that she really wanted me to knit her the Louisiana sweater by Petit Knit. And I said, couldn't you pick any of my designs? And we compromised. I said, okay, I'll knit you a Petit Knit sweater if you could at least pick some of my yarn. And we saw that actually my mega mohair would be the perfect substitute for that yarn. So I guess I shouldn't be too picky. I'm just happy that she loves to wear knitwear. Cheers and rum. It's so nice that you're with me. This is just like knit group. Well, I have notes because I knew that I would probably just lose track and start to read notes and kind of miss whatever I had planned to talk about. So yeah, actually, as I showed you this, I'm working on this Anna bubble cardigan. And I really don't have that many works in progress at the moment. Usually I have at least 5 or 6 projects. And I bet I could find 5 projects if everything counts. But like actively whips, I have not that many. I have this, and that is actually a gift for my oldest friend. We have been friends since 2nd grade. And 3 years ago, she had Anna. And Anna was not well at birth. She's well now. But because it was so important to me that that little girl would be well, I designed this one and called it Anna. So this is why it's called Anna's cardigan and not DK weight bubble cardigan, so whatever. Anna's doing great. So there's no concerns anymore, but there was a big concern at the moment. So this is for Anna, and her mom picked the color. And when you knit for kids, I like the idea of the yarn being like good quality yarn. No plastic, just wool, and having it even be organic wool just feels good. So not that I'm too picky. This is my only organic yarn. I'm not. Knitting vanilla socks. I love knitting vanilla socks. I have always socks on my needles. Good evening, Germany. Are y'all knitting? Are y'all? That's what we say in Tennessee, y'all. Are y'all knitting the Mcal, the new Stephen West, or did you restart, or did you? I heard he changed the beginning. I'm not going into that whole discussion at all. I'm just curious if you're all knitting the Mcal. I was really tempted to do this. I was tempted because I just thought it would be so much fun to pick out 4 yarns that would be like a fade. And I went to my yarns. Well, it's not my yarn stash. It feels like my own yarn stash when I have all this shop yarn available. And of course, it's not my personal yarn stash, but in a way it is anyway, because I can always go pick whatever I want. And I just really wanted to go see if I can find the perfect fade. And I was so close to finding a perfect fade with using some of my Happy Hunter. I took some yarns, not that I want to talk about fades, but this is my Happy Hunter. This is one of my newer colorways that I'm crazy about. No, the reason actually why I took out some yarn is because I want to talk a little bit about bases a little later. Are you doing the Mcal was my question. I'm interrupting myself. No, I'm afraid of his Mcals. Me too. I've never tried it. I lost some of that. Can I go back? Yes. Yeah, this is like knit group. Sina, I agree. This is like knit group. The only thing is that I would love to hear your voice back. I have to stop myself and read. Yes, a lapwing. Thank you. It's called the northern lapwing, the Vibe bird. The bird of October is the northern lapwing. Thank you, Gitte. I had forgotten. No, actually, I have not knit that many. I have knit one, so that is really not that many. But the Stephen West, I love Stephen West. I think his personality is great. I would love to be friends with him or his neighbor. I think he's an artist more than anything, and I think he's a huge talent. I have never joined an Mcal because I usually think the results of the shawls he's making is just too crazy for me. I don't think I would ever wear them. I have done recently a shawl of his, and I forgot the Mirage shawl I did, which is like a half a circle, and it was all brioche, and I just love brioche, and I just used a lot of my own yarn, and I really enjoyed that. But I was tempted by this year's Mcal because of the fade. I think more than anything else, it was just actually about finding the perfect fade, maybe more than knitting it. I don't know. Yes. Looks like the, oh, I had gone up the text, so it looked like there was nothing going on in the in the chat box here. Yeah, well, anyway, I brought some yarn because I was asked by a, I don't know what you call that, a follower, if I would actually talk a little bit about bases. And I think it's a great topic because I get often, once I release the bird of the month, those of you who don't know what the bird of the month is, it's my yarn club. It's my first year doing a yarn club, and every month I dye a sock set inspired by a bird. And usually I have about 4 or 5 different sock bases to choose from. And of course that can be so confusing, because what is the difference between all these different sock bases? And I have 4 sock bases in fingering weight yarn, and I have 1 in the DK weight. And I just want to sort shortly talk a little bit about that. So those of you who have no idea the difference between all these sock bases, what is the difference, and why, what should I choose, and why one base instead of the other base? Let me start with the base that I just randomly picked. This is my gold sock base. Is it possible to show this label so you can see? It is a 75% merino, 20% nylon, and 5% gold stellina. It is a, what you call a high twist yarn. So you can, maybe you can tell, maybe you can't tell. It might be a little bit hard. If it's hard to see on the camera, I don't know the quality of the recording when you're live. I don't know what it's like compared to when I'm doing a regular episode. So if you want to see this up close, just go to my website and look at the gold sock yarn. Maybe you'll be able to see that the yarn is spun or twisted. I don't know the correct word. I think spun with 2 plies of wool. So yarns can be either 1 ply, like there's only one ply. This is 2 plies, so there's like 2 strands of yarn. And the high twist is, as it says, high twist yarn, so it's a little bit more sturdy, and it will last, but it will not last forever. If you want a sock yarn that lasts more than a year, if I wear my fingering weight socks, the 80% merino, 20% nylon, no matter if it's a high twist yarn or a 4-ply yarn, I will return what the 4-ply is. Those, if I wear them a lot, they will last like a year or 2. But if you want something that will last longer, choose the BFL base. BFL is by far the best sock yarn ever, because the blue-faced Leicester wool is, the fibers are different, they are longer, so they will last longer, and they are way more, what is the word? They're stronger. It's not that they're stronger, but they're just longer, so they last longer. This is just a stronger wool. Is it as soft as the merino? No, it's definitely not as soft as the merino, but my feet, honest to God, they cannot feel the difference. When I knit the sock, yes, I can feel that this is a little bit more rustic or a little bit more woolly. It's not itchy or scratchy at all. It's just a little different. Okay, yes, I'm sorry. Someone is... Yes, durable. Thank you. That's a good word. They're more durable. When I podcast, usually when I podcast and I have these moments where I can't find the word, I will go to my computer and I'll look up the word, and then I'll continue, and I will edit all this stuff out of me not being able to find the right English word. That's just the way it is, because I'm not a native English speaker. So sometimes it just takes. I move it just a little bit so maybe you can see my finger. So that's the way it is. Anyway, BFL, more durable than the merino sock. But that was only 2 bases, and I have more. Then there is, actually this is very close to the gold. It is a high twist 2-ply yarn. The difference between this and my Camijo sock base, these have the same fibers. 80% merino, 20% nylon. The only difference between these two is that this is a high twist yarn, and that means it's only 2-ply, and this is a normal fingering weight sock yarn, which is a 4-ply yarn. The other difference is that the yardage is a little bit different. So this one is 425 meters per 100 grams, and this is only 366 meters per 100 grams. Which means when you knit socks, this will be just a tiny bit more thick and a little bit more, I would say, squishy, or a little bit more plump. Is that the right word? I don't know. I prefer to knit socks in the 2-ply high twist yarn, because I think the socks are just a little bit more squishy. I really like that. Yes. Okay, so that is 4 different types of fingering weight sock yarns. You would pick the gold for obvious reasons. It is glittery and pretty, and every time I dye the sock clubs, I always fall in love with the gold stellina one, because it kind of makes the colors a little bit more 3D or a little bit more crisp, because the glitter just adds a beautiful extra something to the colors. So I always think that the gold stellina sock yarn is the prettiest when I look at all the skeins. That being said, it's still 400 meters per 100 grams. So I prefer the plumper one, because I just like the texture of the yarn when I knit in this. Just a personal preference. It's not better. And some people just love this, my Camijo sock base. I love the quality of the yarn, but this is a yarn that I'm seriously considering exchanging with another yarn. A better one. More about that some other time. And the last sock yarn that I have here is my DK weight sock base. This is a 75% merino and 25% nylon. And this is just a very normal DK weight sock yarn. I don't have any other sock yarns in the DK weight. Except for this. You could, I think, knit socks in any base. You don't have to have nylon in your socks for them to be wearable or durable. The most important thing is that if you knit socks in a 100% wool base, that being BFL or merino or any other wool, doesn't matter. The most important thing is that your gauge is like the tightest. So I would like say 35 maybe stitches per 10 centimeters, because the tighter your fabric is, the longer they will last. In the old days, they didn't put nylon in yarn because they didn't have any. So they would just knit the socks like on small needles, very tight. So that was about socks. Do you have any other questions about all the sock bases? Do you have a favorite? Thank you, Deborah. Good. If I was only a millionaire, I would buy one of each. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, yes, I love the BFL as like very much as well. I should actually dye more in the BFL base. I just don't sell that much. I sell way more in the merino base than I do the BFL base. Yes, Leah, I love the high twist as well. They are my favorite. Yet also likes the 2-ply the best. I don't blame you. I did bring other bases. Just to have a little chat. Maybe you know, if you follow if you follow my channel, you know I have been talking about bases for a long time because I'm really trying to kind of get rid of some of my bases and also be more clever when it comes to picking out bases that you enjoy as much as I do. And also for me, it's really the most important thing is that I love to dye the yarn. Some of the bases I just don't enjoy to dye. That is the reason I don't have any silk, 100% silk yarn. I do dye silk for some yarn stores that really want it, but I don't dye any for myself, for my own store, because I really just don't enjoy to dye on the silk base. Am I doing advents that are only for Sundays? I did last year. I did a Dirty Dancing Sunday advent. In Denmark, I don't know what it's like in other countries, but in Denmark at least, like the 4 Sundays leading up to Christmas is all like a big thing. So we lit a candle in the Wrath, and we would gather with our family, and the kids will have presents on Sundays, at least when they get a little older. And when they're younger, they usually have a little present every day or a little chocolate every day. And then at least for our kids, when they got older, we kind of changed that to only being on Sundays. So the 4 Sundays leading up to Advent is a thing. And I did the Advent last year. You never know what happens. I'm not going to plan to do one because right now I'm so busy I can't even keep up. And I know that's a good thing, but sometimes when you are so busy, you are afraid you won't actually have the work done in time. It's not a good feeling. So I'm not going to promise any advents right now. But some of you might know that I am working very close with Tine from So Schilde, and she has advents. And they are on sale now, and I can reveal that she has products from me in her advent. So if you want something that's a little bit CamijoKnit and a little bit So Schilde, go support her and get her advent calendar, and there will be something from me inside as well. It was so funny because we were talking about what to put in the advent, and I was so excited. I said, I want one. So sign me up for one. And then I was like, no, I have it at home. I can just go home and grab it. But it's her theme is Mælkedrengestriber, which translates like to milk boy stripes, and that's a pattern for like tiny stripes in light blue and white, and I think even maybe sometimes in light gray and white. And I really actually don't know the story behind those milk boy stripes. I don't know actually where that came from. Can you recommend one of your bases for other knitting projects? Absolutely. It all depends what you're knitting. And that is actually the reason why I brought some of my other bases. And sometimes the yarn will speak for itself. As you can see, this is a baby alpaca cashmere silk. It doesn't get better than this. This is like the best of the best fibers, I think. But when you look at the yarn, it's so soft. So you can kind of tell this will be a very drapey fabric if you knit out of very soft yarns like alpaca, merino silk cashmere. I have a silky silky lace somewhere, which is also like a silk and merino. And the softer the yarn, the softer the fabric. So sometimes knitters they want to knit a very buttery, soft, lovely sweater that doesn't grow and that is not too drapey. And that is just very, that's very hard, if not impossible. Could I knit a sweater out of the alpaca? Absolutely, but just keep in mind that this will grow and it will be very drapey. So if you want to knit in something that this soft, I would make sure that the pattern that I'm choosing has some kind of texture in the pattern that kind of gives it a hold, like bubbles or the honeycomb pattern. I think that would work. Or I would knit this with a strand of something like a silk mohair, because the silk is very strong. Kind of helps it not be too drapey. So these very soft silky bases I wouldn't recommend for a long cardigan. well, it will be a long cardigan no matter how short. This is not, at least in my opinion, the best choices for sweaters. The best choices for sweaters, if you knit it with a silk mohair, I think you'll be just fine. I do that myself all the time. This, my new base, the organic wool, it just has this feel to it that it's, if you knit a sweater, it will just stay in shape. I haven't knit anything adult size yet, so I'm just saying what I'm thinking. I have no backup yet, except just previous experience as a knitter. But I think this is just the perfect yarn for like Fair Isle, or I think it has, it's not that I think this yarn is more masculine than other yarns, but I'm just thinking that if I were to knit a sweater for my husband, I think I would actually choose this yarn more than this very soft alpaca cashmere. I don't think he would, I think he would like the feel of it, but I just don't think he would like the look of it. And then I have a personal favorite, which is my single ply merino. And this I love. I will knit this with a strand of silk mohair, and I will knit shawls and hats and sweaters and cardigans and anything. I have so many patterns where this is a true #1 choice. And also because it just dyes up so beautifully, because there's no nylon. And whenever I dye yarn that has nylon in it, it just feels like the nylon just has a bad attitude and goes, I don't want to help you out and make the colors be all bright and pretty. Of course they will be, but it's just not as bright as when I dye on the 100% merino. So it's all a matter of personal preferences and what do you prioritize the most. Does it have to be really soft next to skin, or does the colors have to be very pretty, or do you want the glitter? I actually like all of them, so I'll just pick different things to knit with. Did you say baby alpaca silk? Yes, I did say baby alpaca silk. I dropped it, so hold on. This is a baby alpaca silk cashmere. It's a DK weight. And I'm thinking, yeah, they are available online, but actually now I'm having doubts if they are. Some of them are. I just recently dyed more in this base, and I can't remember if I put them all online. I have this base, this color, which is called Elephant, and I have 4 or 5 other bases. Well, I can't, it's going a little slow over here on my computer. I apologize. I just want to make sure I'm not saying stuff that's not true. So I'm just looking to see how many bases is available. Yeah, they're all online. So you can go check them out. Okay, Bettina says that she has been knitting sweaters in the alpaca silk cashmere without any structure, and it has been perfect. It did grow about an inch or so, otherwise nothing. Good. So I'm just gonna go back and see if I missed anything that I would. Will you be dyeing more of the brick color in the new linen base? Absolutely, friends. I will be dyeing more brick. And I will say this always, it's like, you're gonna knit some socks in this October? In this October? What do you mean? Are you gonna knit some socks? Oh, I'm gonna knit some socks because it's October. Is that the question? I could maybe show you because I'm working on a pair of socks in a base that is a base that I'm considering for the shop. I was gonna say that if there's a color that you want, like sweater quantities of something, and it's not available, please just always write me and say, I need 6 skeins of this in this color. Could you help me? Because I cannot always have 8 skeins of every color in my shop available because it's just not possible. Ooh, I need to make sure that I'm not going into someone else's time slot. So you can always write me and I will absolutely just stop my production and let your little order come in first. Because once I start to dye for the yarn stores, that just kind of takes for a long time, and sometimes I will prioritize them before my own shop, and I'm just slowly learning how to juggle all that. So yeah, you can always write me, and yes, friends, there will be more in the brick color. The only problem with my new organic wool linen base is that it just takes longer to dye because it's a non-superwash yarn, and I have said this earlier that non-superwash yarn just has such a bad attitude when it comes to dye. It's just soaking in the water, going, there's no way I'm gonna let myself be dyed. It's just that it has an attitude, so it takes a long time for the dye to kind of sit in the yarn. Good. Awesome colors. Thank you. Love the color. Thank you. Yes. Did I have any other bases in here? I don't think so. I think I talked a little bit about all the bases that I brought out. Now it's time for me to have a sip of my wine. Anything else? Did I miss some questions? Will you also do the brick in the alpaca silk? I was really thinking about it. But then I was not certain if I should have the same colors in both of these new DK weight bases. I didn't know if it was a good idea to try to do other colors in the alpaca base or if it should just be the same colors. But if you want the alpaca in the brick, I will just dye some brick. That is no problem. I think it could be actually a pretty color for the alpaca. I have 10,000 design ideas for this new base. What I don't have is time. I am right now dyeing the last colors for this year's advent calendar. I am so excited. Every day I pick out, well, I have already picked them out, but I look at a new painting from Anna Anka, and that painting inspires me to dye the minis of the day. And I think I have dyed 18 days now, so I only have 6 left, and then they need to be all wrapped and boxed, and yeah. That's a big job, but thank God my husband has been so nice to be. I taught him how to twist the yarn on my little twister, and he's doing such an amazing job. Yes, I may need a helper, Barb, but my husband helps me, and I think I might hire Esther at some point. And now I can share some exciting news for those of you who follow me and my channel and my company. You know that this little dyeing business of mine is actually pretty young. I have not been dyeing yarn for more than 2 years now, soon, almost 2 years. And it's just started out with with one pan in my utility room, and now I have 6 pans in my utility room, and that's still not enough. I'm just kind of growing out of the house. There's yarn everywhere. I have this office where I have some yarn, and I took my husband's office, and there's yarn everywhere. And now that my Nomi is in Tanzania, I have all my admins in there, and there's yarn all over. So I took a crazy decision. So CamijoKnit is moving out. I rented a huge place. Maybe some of you saw a little bit of in a story a few days ago. But yes, I'm moving out. And I have been filming. So once we are settled in the new place, I will make a little video on YouTube about the whole process. I'm moving in with Tine, who is the owner of So Schelde. We have been collaborating for, I think, about a year now, and she lives in the same city as me, and it's just perfect that we can have this space together, and we can, you know, brainstorm together and work together, and we just have the best. We have the same sense of humor, so we have so many laughs, and yeah, she's just a newer friend. I haven't known her for very long, so it's the beginning of a beautiful friendship. So we are having so much fun. Yes. Moving to a location very close to where I live, so I could actually walk there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is so exciting. Yes, that is so exciting. Oops, I just need to go back and see if I missed something. I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, guys, I can see that I have been talking for 46 minutes. That's a little longer than I anticipated, but yeah, time flies when you're having fun. Let me check my list to see if I missed anything. Nope. I was just gonna say that I am dyeing yarn for all the stores, and of course for me, because I'm going to a to Creative Day in Fredericia, which is like the biggest creative fair or event in the country. It is huge, and it's such a professional fair to go to compared to the usually when we go to the knitting events. It's just low key, and I really like this atmosphere, and this is like a little bit more professional, I think. I'm a little scared. I'm so glad I have helpers to help me. And my brother offered to rent a big truck and come and get all my things and help me to get everything done. So no, I'm sorry, I'm not in any American yarn stores. Maybe someday, who knows? Thank you for watching, Jette. Yes, so I will be wrapping up. Thank you so much for joining this live. I am so thrilled and happy that you all came here to hang out with me on a Saturday night. You should all be hanging out at a bar somewhere or a party. So yeah, I will, next time I do a live, I'll make sure that I have the whole rotation of my camera under control. And until next time, take care. I will see you on the regular podcast in a week from now. Thank you for watching. Bye. I don't know how to end this. See you guys. Bye.